Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears released. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Thank you. Should we do the mantra before the service starts? But wait, let's tell them. Let's tell them that they can join us. If you'd like to join us, we're going to do a mantra before the service starts. It is a Kundalini mantra, and the words are in English. The words are, I am the light of my soul. I am beautiful. I am bountiful. I am bliss. I am, I am. So please, if you feel like it, join us in singing. Of my soul, I am beautiful. I am bountiful. I am bliss. I am. I am the light of my soul. I am beautiful. I am bountiful. I am bliss. I am. I am the light of my soul. I am beautiful. I am bountiful. I am bliss. I am. soul. I am beautiful. I am bountiful. I am bliss. I am. I am the light of my soul. I am beautiful. I am bountiful. I am bliss. I am. I am the light of my soul. I am beautiful. I am bountiful. I am bliss. I am.
Aloha, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to New Thought. Today's the 23rd of March, and we have a very special program. Special musicians, special friends on the lanai, special friends tuning in live stream, and special friends that'll be watching the YouTube. So at least you get complacent with our every Sunday format. We're changing it up a bit today. Oh, hi, Patty. Yes. Oh, thank you. So you notice we have two presenters today.
Oh, thank you. We're in our India
And we have two
dubs.
musicians.
Okay.
For me? What about, no, Jean. It's for Jean. Oh my gosh, one time I get laid and they take it back on me. Oh. I am speaking. Thank you. But thank you, Karen. That was very lovely. For a short time, I had a glory there. Okay. So everyone, welcome. We're so glad to have you with us today, and I think you're really going to enjoy the program. How many people have ever been to India? Oh, wow. Woohoo! Wow. That's pretty good. Okay. So we're going to start today with a reading from the Science of Mind magazine for the 23rd, and Chris is going to do that reading for us.
Thank you. Moving in the flow. Glasses can't hurt. Okay. The Spirit can only do for us what it can do through us. Each person is an eternal destiny, a forever expanding principle of conscious intelligence. There is a flexible status in mind that is important to cultivate, one that allows for continual progression of thought. Prayer is part of this, for prayer is, as Holmes says, a movement of thought. Meditation also helps as we open our minds to infinite inspiration. Even the simple contemplation of ideas lends us a means to engage in what I like to call the divine flow of God. When circumstances do not always behave as we would wish, we have at least two options before us. We can get stuck in frustration, anger, and dismay, or we can turn to the infinite mind for possibilities, perhaps discovering avenues we had not even imagined. We can go with the flow, which is a phrase coined years ago that's now part of our lexicon, and what an apt phrase it is. In these few words lies the invitation to risk something new. Daily, we place ourselves in the infinite flow of good as a matter of course. With the demands that life can place on us, we like to be open to the element of God's surprises as much as possible. It is good to remember that invoking divine right action opens us up to the vastness of infinite resources, where solutions may be forming even as we make the turn to divine wisdom. Affirmation. I am the place where God stands forth in the world as me. As I turn to God, God turns to me in such degree as I trust the presence to guide, to heal, and to reveal all that I need to know. Yeah, so we can repeat it back. That's what I thought. It is an affirmation after all. I am the place.
I am the place
where God stands forth
where God stands forth
in the world as me.
in the world as me.
As I turn to God,
As I turn to God,
God turns to me.
God turns to me.
In such degree as I trust the presence to guide,
as I trust the presence to guide,
to heal and to reveal
to heal and to reveal
all that I need to know.
all that I need to know.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris. I think one of the favorite parts of that is as I turn to God, he turns to me. I mean, we know that. And it's God or supreme consciousness, whatever, however you see it. It doesn't matter. It's of one source. So, yeah, I really like that. Thanks. So I think right now what we could do is maybe just to gather our energies in, we'll just do a short meditation and just kind of breathe deeply, ground yourself, however you're used to doing that, and just let's come together with one mind, one spirit, one soul here on this lanai where we're so blessed to be this Sunday all together for a reason. All of us are here today for a reason. And we're very grateful to have everyone. So I'll ding the chimes when we're done. Just breathe in deeply and just let go of everything, anything, any burdens you walked in the room with or the lanai with, and just let go. I know that was too short, but we have a program today. So welcome back. Welcome to everyone. Those joining us on live stream, those joining us here. So I just want to welcome you to New Thought. And New Thought, a multi-faith spiritual community, if I ever saw one. We provide a sanctuary of aloha for the nourishment, development, and evolution of each individual's unique spiritual path. I love that. So we're under the umbrella of International New Thought, and we have sister organizations such as Unity, Religious Science, and Centers for Spiritual Living. We're starting to connect with a lot of those in a very different and a very beautiful way recently, and we'll probably touch on that sometime in the future here. So I want to ask, I know there's some new people here, right? Where are you? Anybody want to admit to it? No? No, I guess nobody. No? Okay, well, welcome back. Welcome back, okay. So we're doing abbreviated service this morning so we can have time for our musicians and time for our double speakers, the India twins here. Pasha, I'm Tony, by the way, and Pasha and Jean will be our presenters today. We'll introduce them a little bit later. We're doing our Ordinary Miracles next, And we'll try to keep them just a few and a little briefly if possible, please. Anybody have something ordinary that happened? Anybody have something a little ordinary, a little miraculous, or like super, super duper? And it may be today, yesterday, a month ago, 10 years ago. There's still miracles, and that energy still keeps moving through us in the universe. Yay, hi.
Hello, I'm Tatum. Something that happened, so I'm moving back to Alaska in a few weeks because I work up there. I know I'm really sad to leave already, but I'll be back. But I work there seasonally. It's really hard to find work up there because it's a really small town and there's a lot of seasonal workers. And I didn't think I was going to be able to go because I couldn't find a place to live. And then I posted something on Facebook on like the web page, and someone commented back. They're like, I actually have this drag cabin. If you just want to do some like camp host duties, and you can live in this drag cabin for free. And also I have a vehicle for you to use. And I'm like, what? Okay, thank you. Like it's just like a miracle because it's what I've been asking for. And the second I thought I'm not going to be able to go, it's like I'm presented with this like beautiful opportunity. So yeah, really excited about that.
Don't forget, you said you'd be back. Yes. Okay. Anybody else? I bet she's got a good one. I think she's got a good one.
The subject today seems to be moving. I'm Elisha Leolani, and I'm in the process of moving in the throngs of it all. And I'm moving from a place that had lots of trees that were cut down by the new landlord. That made me aware of my great love for trees. I mean, even more aware. And so I'm moving into a place that is full of trees. And I'm moving to a place taking care of a house with very low rent, which is again something I put out. And yesterday I was there and spent some time there and went for a walk with the people who built the house. It's very newly built. And as we were walking, we saw an eel sitting on a tree watching us. And every now and then it preened itself a little bit, but then it went back to watching us. And that just made me so aware of the presence of miracles constantly, with me, with us, with every one of us. Thank you.
So nice to hear. Thank you.
Oh. Yeah. Something I really wanted to say that I've become so aware of the great importance of friendship. I've been so bowled over by people asking to help me move. I'm still looking for a truck, but to move the big stuff. But otherwise, people just came from the corners of the world that I had almost forgotten about those people. And, oh, can I help you? I've got this, I've got a car, I can help you. So thank you. Let's treasure friendship and helpfulness.
Nice, thank you. Yeah, we're a miracle unto ourselves, really, right here. Miracles happen a lot. Okay, Karen. Last one.
Okay, I was asking Spirit, I think a few days ago. I just want to see more. I just want to feel like I'm more connected, and I want to see, maybe the colours that I had seen previously in this thing that happened to me, and I want to get more messages. I want to get more light. I want to see more, and so. I go to bed that night, and I'm trying to turn the lamp off. That always turns off, and I've been in that place for 2 years and 4 months, and the lamp won't go off. And it's something wrong with it now. It won't go off, so I have to actually unplug it. And I tried it again last night and the night before. Now I have to unplug it. It's like a whole 2 years and 4 months. It breaks then and it stays on. I'm like, Well, this is the message.
Thank you. Okay. I was ready to call on the musicians to play kirtan. There. I thought I couldn't see him. This is Ola and Farley, and they're wonderful musicians, and they're going to do kirtans here, and it will help set the stage for our speakers and the energy to bring us back into that, where we're going to be heading today with our two storytellers.
Aloha, everyone. So it's not that we're going to do we're all going to do it. Some singing. Can you turn me up a little bit, please? Okay, so we'll do the Sata Nama mantra, and there's a few instructions. So there's 4 syllables, right? And you have accompanying mudras: sa, ta, na, ma. So first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, and you connect those with your thumb with each syllable. That helps get all of your nadis connected and energy flowing better. And then when you get to the phrase, the final syllable, satanama, you're actually supposed to pull in your belly. Satanama. Okay? Okay, so now we'll do 2 minutes of chanting and then 2 minutes of whispering. And then we do in the center, we do 4 minutes of repeating silently the mantra as we're playing. And then on the other side, we do 2 minutes of whispering and 2 minutes of chanting, and then we're finished. The whole thing's about 12 minutes. Okay, and some further instructions, as you can imagine, that each syllable comes in through your crown and out through your third eye. Sa, ta, ma. Okay, everybody, any questions? Okay, let's get started. Oh, you'll hear a little bell in the track that's going to tell us when it's time to go to the next thing, whether that's to change to whispering or so on.
Satanama, 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 Satanama,
Whisper.
Satanama, Satanama, sa, Satanama, 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 Satanama.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you so much. That was beautiful, lovely. Makes me want to hop a plane and go to India tomorrow. Just joking, Palmer. Just joking. Hi, honey. Hi. Mama's right over there. Yeah. Did you hear her sing? She's a beautiful singer. Okay, now we'd like to introduce our presenters, our dear friends, and Pasha McGregor and Jean Love, and this little love right here. So we're going to do a very brief bio. You know, this would probably fill pages here, but Pasha is past president of New Thought, Board of Trustees, served on the board since 1997, except for 1 year. So that means 2 years total from 1997. A resident of Kona since 2001, Jean Love became a member of New Thought in 2007. She had over a decade of experience with Unity and Religious Science Church prior to that time, including service as a chaplain for Unity of Kona. And here she is with us today. Oh, we got her. That's great. Both Jean and Pasha were introduced to the inspired teachings of India in their youth and have studied classes such as the Bhagavad Gita, yoga aphorisms, I don't know that I said that right, but excuse that, of Patanjali. As a young woman, Jean attended services at the Self-Realization Fellowship in Hollywood, California, and Pasha and her husband, Rob or Condor, studied with Master Subramanian, known for their monastery and Hindu temple he established on Kauai, which is a beautiful, beautiful place if you haven't been, from 1968 to 1976. And we could go on, but that's the brief side of it. So I think Pasha, you're going to kind of set the stage for us with kind of give you a basis of where we're going here with this.
Tony, since this is our sort of a theme today, could you start us out with 3 ohms?
Sure.
And then I'll go into the overview.
Okay. Shanti, Shanti, peace, peace, peace.
Thank you. Perfect. So it was February 16th when Jean and I embarked on our trip to India. At the core of our visit was a week-long spiritual retreat in the foothills of the Himalaya mountains. In addition, we spent a few days in Rishikesh, a North Indian town on the banks of the Ganges River, and afterwards in the capital city of Delhi, where we met 2 Swamis of the Ramakrishna order. Neither of us had been to India previously. The opportunity was made possible by the gracious invitation of Robert Kindler. Babaji Bob, as he is commonly known, is the founder and spiritual director of SRV, which stands for Sharda Ramakrishna Vivekananda Associations, with centers in Waimea and on the west coast of the United States. He's a longtime friend of New Thought Center, having shared his wisdom teachings and his musical talents with our community on many occasions over the past quarter century. He was the organizer of this journey and the primary teacher during the retreat. So our group of 15 people included 7 from the Big Island and 8 from the West Coast, mainly the Pacific Northwest. Jean and I were a little different from the others. We had not previously studied with Babaji other than attending his talks at New Thought Center. So we were guests more than members, representatives of the New Thought Sangha, as Babaji described us. We were also the elders of the group, and we received a few special privileges in deference to our age. For instance, on rainy days, we got transported to and from the retreat dining hall by golf cart, lest we slip on the steep brick path. But we earnestly applied ourselves to the lessons and participated fully in the schedule of meditations, meals, and excursions. And by March 3rd, when our Indian Odyssey concluded, we felt fully accepted and connected to the other travelers by bonds of friendship and shared experience. Most of our sharing this morning will be in the form of an interview, but Tony suggested I give this brief overview to sort of set the stage. And to complete it, I will just describe our typical daily routine during the retreat portion of our time in India. 5 a.m., morning meditation, starting with a selection from the Bhagavad Gita, chanted by Babaji in Sanskrit, accompanied by autoharp. He then shared the English translation, and we all meditated in silence for about an hour. 7:30 was breakfast in the dining hall. 9 a.m. morning class lasting for 2 to 3 hours. And the unifying theme of all the classes was Om, spelled A-U-M, hence the banner, which serves as our backdrop today. 12:30, lunch in the dining hall. 3 p.m. afternoon class begins. 4 p.m. tea break. I think that's a carryover from the British times. 4:15 to 5, completion of the class. And 6:30, arti, spiritual music or chanting, and or satsang, just kind of a question and answer with Babaji. 7:30 dinner. 8:30 or 9, go to bed, sleep, be ready for the next 5 a.m. meditation. So that was our life.
A little rigorous, but kind of modified rigorous.
Tony, you have a bit of a too much reverb that makes it not quite clear. Could the sound people try to correct that?
It could be mine.
No, I noticed it before.
Okay, let's try this. Let's see if that's better. No.
Oh, angle the speaker.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Ramona. Keep going. Yeah.
So that's worse.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe move your
think we're
chair
gonna-
back how
I
it
think
was.
we're okay right now, maybe. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. So we're going to do an interview of these two special ladies. And Jean's looking. No, okay. We're having conversation with our friends. How's that, Jean? And bless Jean. Re-entry is, after being in India, re-entry is not an easy task. It can be very challenging, and we're real grateful she's here. Yeah, bringing all her love with her. Okay, I have a question for who would ever like to answer, and you're both welcome to do that. So my question is, of all the countries in the world, why were you especially drawn to visit India?
Shall I go first? Okay.
You go first, Pasha. Yeah.
Okay, we'll kind of take turns going first, maybe. Well, I would say primarily because of the philosophy of and the storied places. Because of my past history of yoga studies, actually, and poetry and literature. I had an unusual English teacher in high school. My senior year, we learned a lot about the spiritual and literary tradition of India, which wasn't very common in that time. Poetry, especially, I loved the poetry of Rabindranath Tagore. When our children were little, I read them stories, like a children's version of the Mahabharata, the Panchatantra. One of my favorites was the story of the blind man and the elephant. One elephant, several blind men. That's right. And also, Rob had been there. In 1972, he did they called it Inner Search India. So like our experience, it was not just tourism, it was a travel with a spiritual intent and theme. And he actually brought me back this scarf, which I just rediscovered this morning. 'Cause it's how you're supposed to have that with a kind of garment, and I had to borrow from Jean in India. But so it sort of completes something. Not that it was the right thing for me to not go in 72 because our eldest child was 2 and our younger was in utero, so it wasn't the right time for me to go to India. But this time it was. So, thank you.
So, I have been, I think I'm on. Hello? Hello again? Hi. I'm on. So I have felt drawn to India since I even knew there was an India. And my brother and I, we were very drawn to Paramahansa Yogananda's teachings. And reading that book very young opened me up to many things besides Christianity that were very healing to me as a child. So I embraced those teachings as healing and opening to us to realize there's so much more to us than meets the eye. And Pasha and I were driving back from Waimea after a lovely ceremony for our friend Libby O'Day, who became ordained as a Science of Mind minister there. And she goes, "Hey, you want to go to India?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And and I go by my gut. That's how I got in Hawaii. That's how I do things. And my gut said, "Go." And so here I went. And it was more than I expected.
So, Jean, if it was more than what you expected, what surprised you?
So many things. I knew that it was a very populated place. I knew there were many, many beings there, especially in Delhi. And the air is kind of thick there. So there was everything, the good, bad, and the ugly, as you can imagine. But probably the main thing that was so different was the people. They look you in the eye. They see you. They're not like, just on automatic pilot. And I think that's one of the main takeaways, that no matter who they were, no matter what their facade, that they saw you. I felt that. Those are one of the many things.
Nice. I experienced that too.
Yeah.
It's like soul to soul. with
Yeah,
the eyes.
soul to soul.
Yeah. How about you, Pasha? Thank you, Jean.
Well, there were fewer problems than expected with cleanliness and hygiene. I think it's because a lot of my contemporaries visited India in the past, even in the 70s and 80s, and even Babaji's group, he may have personally visited India, but I believe this was the first group he took since maybe 2007 or 2009. And, we were actually advised, bring a water purifier and a way to heat water, but we didn't have to use those things. There was always bottled water provided. The toilets weren't gross, although we did have, extra supply of tissue and toilet paper. But in that area, the only thing was that you did have to be careful of cow pies on the path sometimes. The cows are kind of ubiquitous, but I was pleasantly surprised by that. The thing that did, on a physical level, sort of intimidate me was the streets and roads. So many vehicles and so many kinds of vehicles trying to use the same roads, and then you throw in the pedestrians. There was one day in New Delhi when Jean and I, we thought we would walk around the block, but the hotel receptionist advised against it, so we said, okay, we'll just cross the street. Well, the security person agreed to help us cross the street, but there were these tuk-tuk rickshaw thingies going in every direction, and guys with construction supplies and wheelbarrows and regular cars. We did make it across the street with help, and we were about to get into a tuk-tuk, but then I asked, where are we going? And I couldn't understand the answer. And Jean took me by the hand and said, Pasha, we can't do this. So I think she might have saved my life. It sort of felt like that. So we went back to the safety of the hotel lobby, but we, with the help of our group members, we did on another occasion learn to cross the street, and but not on our own. And I don't know if, we stayed in 3 different places, and I felt like maybe Babaji had just found oases for us, little places that were beautiful, clean, contemplative. I don't know, maybe there still are places in India where you have to be pretty careful, but in our 3 places that we were residing, I guess 4. Yeah, there was one that was not quite planned, but anyway, they all felt good and safe. So um, those those were the things that popped to mind right away that were a bit different. Oh, and language. I remember I had told Jean, well, we don't have to learn any new language or have any translator apps on our phone because most people speak English in India. Well, not. It's been a long time since they were part of the empire, and there are the there are a lot of educated people who speak English, but there are also a lot of people who primarily speak other languages. So I did learn a few words, maybe 6 words of Hindi. Yeah. So Dhanyavad rhymes with God, means thank you. Yeah.
And were those okay? What about unique or unusual things besides all the different kinds of vehicles on the road? Jean, did you something's coming to mind, right?
Well, outside my cabin, we up at the retreat, we all had our own little cabins. They were quite nice. They were new, and we were the first Americans to ever stay there. And a beautiful temple, beautiful, beautiful. But I was sitting on my lanai there, and I look over at my neighbor. He goes, "Hey, there's a monkey." I go, "Oh my gosh, just a monkey sitting in the tree, hanging out."
Sure.
And also we found out why they left their lights on. The village people, you could see them down in the valley, beautiful. And they left their lights on all night. And Pasha asked our host, "Why are their lights on all night?" He goes, "Well, there's cougars, there's leopards. There's leopards, and they leave their lights on so the leopards don't come gobble them up." And that's why the lights stayed on till dawn. And even some of our friends who found that we could see the Himalayas outside the gate of where we were staying, one took a beautiful sunrise picture, not knowing that she could have been somebody's breakfast. But she wasn't. But seeing the monkeys, just seeing them, and there's many amazing things, but it was cool to just see a monkey hanging out.
Better to see him in the tree than inside
Yes.
your room.
I guess they can be quite. A few years earlier, in 2009, some of our party had gone as young teenagers, and they were teasing the monkeys. And the monkeys decided they wanted to get the banana or whatever they were teasing with them. They had sliders, and they had to battle with all their strength to keep the group of monkeys from opening the slider. So there are stories of, don't tease the monkeys.
Don't mess with those
Don't
monkeys.
mess with the monkeys.
There was one other interesting encounter with a creature. So the dining hall where we took our meals, there were clear glass windows all along the side facing the foothills. And one lunchtime, I'm afraid that was one of the days Jean was a little under the weather, so she didn't see it, but this huge bird came very close to that window. One of the our other traveler people said she thought it was a kite, the bird, but it was way bigger than any kite she'd ever seen before. And I think it circled more than once, but we were so surprised, and nobody grabbed their cell phone and took a picture of it. So it's just in our memory. But that was a wonderful experience. And my favorite monkey sighting, it was on the side of the road as we were driving up into the mountains, and just sitting on a rock. It was a kind of a very flat-faced monkey, and just looking so philosophical, like really seemed thinking deeply about something. And yeah.
You know what I think? I think that bird flying was Condor coming to check on you.
Ah.
Chitayu. Chitayu. Okay. So here's a thoughtful question. What were some of the most profound teachings you received?
Well, everybody's heard of Om. I mean, it's on T-shirts. It's kind of part of the general culture, not just in India. But we learned so many different dimensions of Om. And, well, one of them was, okay, if you take it as the three letters, A-U-M, okay, so the A is for awake, the U is for unconscious, like in dream state, and the M is for the state beyond that, the like deep dreamless sleep, where there's very little between you and the pure consciousness. Although, as Babaji told us, you can't just achieve enlightenment by going to sleep, even in deep dreamless sleep. It doesn't quite work like that. But it's the closest, like the sheath is the thinnest when you're in that state of consciousness. And Babaji's way of teaching, he's created these amazing charts. I think some of you may have seen one or two when he presented at New Thought before. So whether you're a visual learner or focus on the words or the sound of things, the chart sort of tries to bring it all together. And one of his Om charts, it was saying, well, the Om is like the gateway, the portal to spiritual, well, he calls it moksha, like liberation. And regardless of which path regardless of how you approach it, the yoga teachings, I'm talking like the yoga of Patanjali, like not like hatha yoga, not standing on your head or your shoulders or anything, but the yoga philosophy, which goes back to like about probably 500 BC. It's recognizing that people are different, have different temperaments and character. There's the four main approaches: the karma yoga, which is through selfless service; the bhakti yoga through devotion; the he pronounced it. I thought it was jnana, but he pronounced it ghana. Ghana yoga, which is the path of wisdom and study, and then the Raja yoga, which sort of takes elements of all of them. But he said that the Om, it can be the portal regardless of which yoga or which path or which type of path you're drawn to. The Om is kind of works for all of them. And we all received, when we first arrived at the hotel in Rishikesh, all of us were presented with these mala beads by Babaji. And there's a way they can be used as a tool by, and you can say Om as that, for each bead, and you can also combine it with something else, which he had a Sanskrit name for it, which I can't remember at the moment. But like a really basic one would be like Om Namah Shivaya or something like that, and one for each bead, and that's a devotional practice. Um, yeah, and the three-part Om, also he developed the idea of that as a symbol of various sets of three in Indian philosophy, like the three primary deities of the creator Brahma, the sustainer Vishnu, the destroyer or remover of obstacles Shiva. I'm sorry. Well, Shiva is the overall, and Kali is an aspect of that. So, it's just helped. These teachings are rather deep and complex, and if you aren't used to Sanskrit, that's another thing you have to deal with. So having it tied together with something that everybody's familiar with, that was very nice. So, to you, Jean.
And as we studied Om, he said that Brahma, great creator, I mean, they don't really use the word God, but that Brahma, it was the word, and the word was Om. And that Holy Mother takes the word of Om and creates this. And that it's constantly being created and taken to fruition, to the limit, maybe, a way of putting it, and then goes back to the seeds, and then it's all goes on again, and that really we're actually nothing and everything.
Thank you. So, if you had to sum up your most spiritual experience, was it a continuum? Was it one particular thing where it was like, oh my, just a realization, a pop, oh, here it is, it's here. Jean, you're shaking.
Yeah, I did have a very profound experience, and I'll try to kind of put it in briefly as I can. Those 5 a.m. Meditations, no one would move at all. We'd all be, as devoted as we could. And Babaji had said how devotion can also get you there. You don't have to just study your brains out. And I like that for me. I feel a lot of love to be closer to the source. And we were in deep meditation, probably about a half hour in, and I started thinking about the Holy Mother because I wasn't Catholic, so I loved my mother, but I didn't really, I don't know, and I know God's not a man, but it's just something about the fact that the Holy Mother did creation, and then it reminded me of an amazing healing I had back in my 20s of my third eye. Lacey J. Dalton, she was someone I worked with in Santa Cruz, and she had done a hands-on divine love, divine light healing, which I have been blessed to use on a few other beings. But, as I started thinking about the Holy Mother and divine love and divine light coming in through me, I was totally bathed in the love and light. It really did, it permeated my very soul, my very being. And when we were done meditating, I suddenly was sobbing. It was just like, oh, it was, and like, wow. And then I snapped out of her, whatever. And Pasha was like, you want to talk about it? I'm like, no. And as we went back to our rooms, and as I watched the sun light up the hills, I just felt such a wonderful feeling of home, realization, blessings. Really hard to put words into it, but I did have a very profound experience that morning. And then unfortunately the next morning I was sick. But that was our free day, right? Was I sick on our free day? Yeah, I think you were.
Of course.
Anyway, but luckily I didn't get too sick till I got home. And but it was so beyond words, but really just the knowing that just devoting your love can get you there. Besides, studying, and that he said that could do it too, and that he also said that, as you study the yogas, you should at least have 2 yogas, not just one, so that you fly more. Maybe Kriya and Hatha, or that you fly more balanced. Best if you have at least 4 yogas, but you don't want just one. You do want to be, and just to really be devoted.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I feel the light.
Ja.
Pasha, did you want to say?
Jai.
Well, for me, I think maybe the high point as far as spirituality was meeting we met 2 swamis. So Babaji was our primary teacher, and there was a wonderful man who was the director of the retreat center, just so full of aloha, we'd say here. But these swamis are on a different level. And Babaji had told us beforehand, he said, well, ask good questions, because the swami will discern where you're coming from. So if it's a sincere question, you'll get a much better answer. So it's not just for show. And the swami who really, inspired me was the one we met, who actually was in charge of that retreat center where we stayed, but he wasn't present during our visit. But he was the one that extended the invitation to Babaji to bring a group of his American devotees. I think his name was Shant. I'm telling you, the Swami actually is a long name. I think it was. No, Nilan was the one we met that was there the whole time, but the one the head honcho, Shanti Atmanananda or something like that. But he was an older man, and he wore glasses, and not quite as fair as me, but but he was so calm, even in the midst of lots of activity. He with the help of one of his assistants, he served us tea and some kind of sweet. They call it prasad. Like every time you have food, it doesn't matter breakfast, lunch, dinner. We think that way, but to them, everything's prasad. It's like blessed nourishment that's first, the essence is dedicated to God in whatever form you recognize God, and then us human beings eat this blessed physical, but pre-blessed physical food or something like that. Anyway, he wanted to make sure everybody got what they wanted, tea or coffee, and then he places the order as though he's a waiter waiting on the table instead of a swami, making sure everybody gets the right thing. And there were 15 of us. And then we went into the questions, and he seemed 100% present with each question, and like absolutely no ego, which, most of us, things come through our filter system, right? And it's hard to just absolutely tune into the person we're talking to. But he did that, and one of my favorite things he said wasn't in response to my question, but someone else's about intuition. And they were wondering, is there a word for that in Sanskrit? But what, if I understood right, he said, well, intuition is like a flash, but once you achieve realization, that's where you live. It's clarity. It's not just an occasional spark. It's just that clear light, like Karen's lamp that wouldn't turn off. And anyway, and it was not only what he said, but just the energy, and how it affected me personally is that it gave me hope. Well, wow, maybe I could reach that state if I really applied myself. It's kind of like you read about things, but then if you actually know someone who's been there, you could conceive of going to that place. Well, I'm talking about like a place in consciousness. So that was very inspiring for me. Yeah.
Thank you. We're almost there with your experiences, like we're there, we can feel it, we can. So in lieu of time, what I'm going to do is, instead of saying how, I'm going to say, number one, do you feel that any of the teachings you were exposed to, that they relate to New Thought principles? And do you feel changed by your time? So rather than say what, just do you feel changed by your time in India? Yeah, I think it's foregone. We've already experienced it by what you've said, what you've shared, your heart, feeling your heart. Do you think the teachings relate to our New Thought principles? Maybe that's a silly question.
I do, more so than I realized before. I mean, every speaker that we invite, we feel it has some connection to New Thought principles. But I felt, after having had this experience with Babaji and his students, I felt like the connection is closer than I realized. For one thing, they're very multi-faith. They, just as New Thought is, that we recognize, both philosophies recognize that there are many paths deserving of respect, and if you follow the path, ultimately, you get to the same summit. It's like different paths leading to the mountaintop. And one thing that I became more aware of through this experience, Jean talked about her experience with the consciousness of the Divine Mother. Well, the S part of the SRV, it looks like Sarada, but they seem to pronounce it Sharda. But she was the young wife of Ramakrishna. Ramakrishna is sort of the main, in that lineage. He's the, I think, the most important, but he was married. It was actually an arranged marriage. She was a lot younger. This was back in the first half of the 19th century. But he didn't cast her off, and he supported her education and welfare, and she lived way longer than he did, way longer than Vivekananda, and he's the V, and both Ramakrishna and Vivekananda revered her not just as a particular woman, but as a embodiment of the divine energy. And to me, this was very refreshing, because really, that was the main reason that Rob and I had a parting of ways with the master we studied with, Master Subramanya, was that didn't seem to be the respect for the feminine. And we had our two daughters, and we didn't want them to feel lesser or have their opportunities limited. And Babaji himself is a married man, and so they have this kind of respect that all people, regardless what gender they are, can achieve the highest consciousness with with devotion, with work, with um, with and sangha. Sangha is important. So that's the group of spiritual companions. That it's pretty hard to do it on your own. So I have such gratitude for the New Thought community. I didn't ever think of them as a sangha till Babaji described us that way.
Right.
But
We're
anyway,
sitting with our sangha right here. Right?
We are.
Is there anything I didn't mention, Pasha? That
well, my changes. I was pondering that some of the ways I feel changed is I thought I was meditating, right? But I want to take the meditation to another level and be more dedicated to it. And also, I feel more accepting of the stage of life where I am. My first trip to another country, I was 20, and I was very adventurous. And it's kind of different when you're 70-something, but it was very good. And it's just, I've outlived both of my parents. It's like, it's a blessing to reach this stage of life where you have fewer life responsibilities and you can live a more contemplative life. Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jean?
I too feel that my meditations have been taken to a way higher level, a better level. And it's okay to be. It's okay to be. It's wonderful, and that it's hard to put in words, but when you do something so transformative, even if it takes its toll, that it is well worth it. And I think we should all follow our guts and live our fullest lives. And
Nice.
yeah.
You're even sparkling more than you were when you came in. You too, Pasha. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Of course, India is near and dear to my heart, and my guru resides there. And so many experiences, and I relate to everything you've said and more. Thank you. Oh, phew. Okay, we'll take a. So we're going to ask for a offertory song as we give thanks, and we give thanks back to New Thought and honor in whatever way you want energetically. We accept all forms of energy, of love, going into this bowl. And we appreciate it very much. It helps with our getting good presenters for you guys, with our beautiful musicians that we have, with so much, and keeping this place maintained, and thanking everybody here who chips in and helps out where it's needed. And that's what a Sangha does. That's what a family does. So thank you, New Thought family. Thank you. Thank you so much. That was Olga and Farley. We're so happy to have you back and you with us again to play. And they do kirtans. And also Farley's the director of the Kona Chamber Orchestra. And we actually got to hear them 2 weeks ago? Last Sunday maybe. I'm not even
2
sure.
weeks.
But I can't believe it. You know, one of my prayers has been, I need live music. I need music. I need it. My soul needs it. Then I have the concert and you guys show up and play. I didn't know you were going to play the trumpet. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. Thank you. Okay, we got announcements. So we do have childcare every Sunday, but you just need to let us know ahead of time. Next week we're going to have Donna Marie Bordeaux, Elevating Our Individual and Collective Consciousness, The Positive Path of Noble Leadership, and music by Jean Pierre-Thomas. April 6th, and that's our potluck too. April 6th, we have Heather Viana Reynolds, The Siren Song, Ancient Oracles, When Women Sing the World Back to Harmony. Music by Vaboda. That should be interesting. 4:13, we actually have our own Jin An Wang, The Practice of Tai Chi, an Analogy for Nearly Everything. And Shauna Bradfield is going to be our musician. And thank you, Shauna, for hanging in there with us. Weekly classes. Monday, Jin An Wang does the Tai Chi and the Qigong. And it's 4:30 to 5:30, but if you want to come at 4, you can actually learn the long form. And like I said, potluck next Sunday right here. Crystal Bowl meditation is April 13th, my birthday, 9 to 9:30. It's second Sundays of the month, and we had a really good turnout last time. It was beautiful. Special events, we've got April 5th, Margie, Independent Living. Margie, there you are. See Margie if you have any questions. 10 to 12 on the lanai, suggested 25. And then Maria, are you still here? I saw Maria. There's Maria. Can you stand up for a second, Maria? Maria's doing LifeWave. It's the third of the fourth monthly workshops featuring bio-shamanic journeys in the Hanoa room from 1 to 5. And I always remember the one we did online. That was one of the most profound light experiences I've ever had in my life, and I've had a lot of experience. Thank you, Maria. Let's see. Prayer. We have a New Thought prayer ministry. You've heard us talk about it. There's the the holy box. We'll call it the holy box. The whole new holy box. Okay. And you can also email in, but you can do written requests there. Just make sure if it's for somebody else that you've talked to them and you have their permission. And you can put it in there, and the prayer ministry will go to work. And we've had a lot of amazing things happen. Sign our guest book there for the weekly newsletter. So you have everything. You don't have to remember any of this. And Pasha, the sweet soul that Pasha is, because I've been practicing Manny's Kitchen in Captain Cook, and she wrote it for me, so thank you. Lunch at Manny's Kitchen in Captain Cook, Mauka side, across from the fire station. What did I say? Mauka. Makai side, across from the fire station. It's Mexican food, easy to park, and it's across from the fire station. Wait. It's near the what? It's after Black Rock Pizza. Yeah, but what grocery store? Choice Mart. That's farther. Okay. If you go to Choice Mart, you're going too far. Okay. Anybody have an idea? It might be coming to lunch with us. You can hear more. Maybe Pasha and Jean might. I don't know about Jean. Pasha might be available for more questions. Okay. Get an idea. Okay. And Shayna, where's Shayna? Do you want to say something about Do you want to say something? Then we'll make a circle and round up for our Hawaii Aloha song. He says take the red. Okay.
So finally, this is the coming up of our benefit yard sale that's going to be on the lanai here next Saturday from 8 to 12. And what I'm hoping for, we're going to do set up Friday from 2 to 4. And there's a sign-up sheet if anybody wants to sign up or just show up. And so we need, Friday we need help arranging the tables and putting things out. Saturday the sale starts at 8, but I'm going to be here by 7 the latest because there'll be some last-minute things. We still could use some more donations. We need help running the sale. We especially need help at the end of the sale because it's going to look like a yard sale until noon, and then it has to look like this before I go home Saturday afternoon. So we could use help at that point. So it's shop, donate, volunteer, and all the proceeds will be going to New Thought Center. Any questions?
Shane, are items marked or is it?
A couple items will be marked with price, but mostly we'll fake it.
Were you going to bring some treats?
And I'll try to bring some snacks to show my appreciation for everybody that's here, because working hungry isn't that much fun.
Where are you going to put the sign-up sheet right
Okay,
now?
so the sign-up sheet will be here. Sign up if you want to, and you can welcome to show up if you don't sign up.
Okay. Very, oh. Oh, I'm sorry, Pasha, of course. Pasha's brought back some special things.
So Jean and I both brought a few souvenirs that you can look at, and including lots of books that are related to what we learned and what we want to learn more about. The books are not to take home with you, but there's 2 giveaways. I brought home some rocks from the Himalayas. So if you're a rock person and you'd like to have a Himalayan rock on your altar, find which one has your name on it. And also, if you're not such a rock person, there's some picturesque postcards, and those are also giveaways. Did you want to say anything about what you brought?
We did. It's really interesting. My sister gave me a book for Christmas that just happened to be about Ramakrishna. But we just have a few books to look at, and she bought this beautiful cloth, and I got a cloth at the same time, and just get a little feel for India. My sister gave me a beautiful Indian doll over there, yeah, I forgot my rocks from the Himalayas because we had to move out so quick that morning because the storm had put a big, huge boulder in the road, and we didn't know how we were going to get out. But as one man said, India throws people at problems, and they got the bus in. We had a fun ride back.
Thank you all. Thank you so much, you two. That's wonderful. Yay! Yay! Yay!
Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste. Okay, let's circle up and do our Hawaii Aloha song.